Hey girl, let's talk crime. Today, we are going to be discussing the case of Pamela Smart. Pamela Smart was a 22-year-old media coordinator that worked at Winnicott High School in Hampton, New Hampshire. She was married to her husband, 24-year-old Greg Smart, who was an insurance salesman at the time, and they had been married for about 2 years. So, to everyone else, it appeared that they had the perfect life. However, there was a lot going on in their marriage. So, people would describe Pamela as someone who was very ambitious, very outgoing, and attractive. However, they would describe Greg as someone who was less sociable and then just kind of like there, not like the perfect matchup that you would think. In the 1990s, Pamela Smart gets involved with a 15-year-old that goes to Winnicott High School by the name of Billy Flynn. So Billy was someone that was rebellious. He was charismatic. I guess the things that were opposite of her husband, although he was a child. And so they began this sexual relationship, something that she kept hidden from her husband, Greg. So, as this relationship continued, Billy became infatuated with Pamela, and Pamela manipulated him and told him that the only way that they could be together, because she wouldn't leave Greg, is that if Greg was completely out of the picture. So she is playing on all of his insecurities. She's playing on the fact that he is a child, and just pretty much explaining to him, this is the future that we could have. This is how our life would look. We can be together, but Greg has to be dead. On the night of May 1st, 1990, Greg Smart was killed in his own home. So his wife, Pamela, had been planning the murder for months, and she was strategic in making sure that Billy was involved. Now, Pamela would use her position as a media coordinator to arrange these meetings, like, during school, to ensure that Billy was involved. Billy took the extra step to involve his friends. So he enlisted the help of two of his friends, Raymond Fowler and Patrick Murphy, who were both 16 years old at the time. So the plan was that it would be a robbery gone wrong. So Billy called Pamela that evening and she instructed him on all of the final details. And to make sure to keep her involvement concealed, they had broken into the house that evening and shot Greg in his head while he slept. So initially, after the murder of Greg, of course, Pamela was acting her part as a grieving widow. And the more she talked, the more investigators felt like things were not adding up. And then that is when they actually found out about the affair, more like the violation, between herself and Billy. So authorities did arrest Billy, and immediately he turned on Pamela, told how she had manipulated him, and then also told about his co-conspirators, his two friends, Raymond and Patrick. Pamela Smart was arrested and charged with first-degree murder, as well as conspiracy to commit murder and being an accomplice to the murder. Now, this trial was such a big deal because it was one of the first major cases that received a ton of extensive television coverage. Also because she was beautiful, and then she was sleeping with a child, and then also just her really cold-hearted demeanor throughout the trial. So Pamela's defense was that she had nothing to do with this, that Billy had acted alone, he was in love with her, he wanted to get her husband out of the way, and the prosecution was just pretty much like, no, that's not what happened. She has been manipulating him for months. They even showed love letters that she had been sending him, promising him a life together if Greg was dead. The defense did try to paint Billy as this rebellious, out of control kid that just kind of went off the deep end. However, the jury did find Pamela guilty on all counts, and on March 22nd, 1991, she was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. So Billy, as well as Raymond and Patrick, received lighter sentences than Pamela. Billy did receive 35 years. However, in 2015, after serving 25 years of his sentence, he was released. Pamela Smart, who is still incarcerated, continues to appeal her sentence as well as maintain her innocence, that she had nothing to do with the murder of her husband, Greg Smart.